Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Primetime Local News. Connor Chan and Abby St. John here. Bring you lots on the go for today's show, including our question of the day. What viral trend do you not understand? There's a lot.
There's so many. Tide Pod challenge, any dance challenge, you know, outside the car, hate those.
There's nothing wrong with dancing. You know, maybe people just use it as a way to express themselves.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No, not in this way. The Kylie Jenner lip challenge, that's just dangerous, first off. So much damage and bruising to your lips, that's not okay. And there's probably hundreds more.
Okay, well, we're gonna slow down there because I know you have a lot to say about that, but we're gonna read a lot more comments and more coming up later on. But right now, let's send over to Eric Bay, who is on location.
Thanks, guys. Well, today I'm going to be joined by Sharon Reed, who is in charge of the Lloydminster Healing Connections Expo that is happening this weekend at the Days Inn and Suites. With Canadian Mental Health Week coming up here in this next week, we're going to be talking a little bit about some mental health tips that you can take home and practice yourself. Again, we're going to talk about a few breathing techniques, also some meditation, and how to incorporate that into your schedule. We'll also talk a little bit about what's coming up at the Healing Connections Expo, how to attend, and again, what they have going on to talk about your mental health. So we're going to have all that and more coming up here on the show tonight. But first, we're going to go back into the studio where Abby has a look at your local news.
Earlier today, the RCMP held a crime prevention presentation for business owners. The presentation gave many tips to business owners on how they can improve the security of their business in order to reduce the rate of crime.
We can prevent through the crime prevention through environmental design. It is a term which, like by applying which, they can modify their building structurally, or they can put some equipment, and they're very basic things which, if they apply to their property, a lot of property crimes can be reduced from the city.
The RCMP wanted this presentation to help connect them to the community.
The purpose of this presentation and education awareness seminar was to involve the community with our work. Of course, we are doing our duty, we are doing our work, but if community work with us, community do partnership with us, we all can reduce that crime fast, and it can be reduced to a very significant number.
They're hoping to hold more presentations in the future to teach not only business owners, but everybody about property safety. Coldwell Banker Cityside Realty and the Lloydminster Sexual Assault Center have partnered up to put on a clothing drive. The month of May is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and so the Lloydminster Sexual Assault Center are looking for clothing donations for those who need it.
For new clothing donations of comfort clothing for all sizes, genders. Particularly, they are looking for more male clothing, t-shirts, joggers, that kind of thing, because they're a little bit low on that.
With this month being dedicated to awareness for sexual assault, Coldwell Banker decided it was a great opportunity to put on the clothing drive.
So May is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we thought it was the perfect time to hold the clothing drive. We just partnered with the Lloydminster Sexual Assault Center, and so this is the first event that we were able to organize for them.
The clothing drive is on until May 31st, and you can drop off the donations at Coldwell Banker Cityside Realty during their office hours. Over the past 4 years, Progressive Fitness has been helping people reach their physical goals through CrossFit and foundational training. Eric Bay has more in this week's BioClean Business Bio.
When Progressive Fitness owner Clark Jury started his own gym, he wanted to be able to connect with people while helping them achieve their goals, so he chose to focus on CrossFit training.
I was introduced into CrossFit a few years before starting this company here in Lloyd here at another CrossFit facility, and it just blew my mind. It was such a tremendous way to meet people, to stay fit, to get active, and I thought that was just the ticket. So it kind of stuck with me, and I decided to roll with it.
The gym, which is also home to Unified Physiotherapy and Clayton Conditioning, also emphasizes recovery with the foundation training it offers.
Over time, we do a lot of sitting, like what I'm doing right now, and talking on our cell phones and things like that, that really get our body into a position that we're not comfortable with, or we do become comfortable with. But over that course of that time, you begin to break down. And what foundation training is learning how to decompress your body and elongate your body through a series of movements to get you back to your natural state. So it's a really, really cool thing.
No matter what people's goals are, Progressive Fitness strives to create a positive environment for people to train in.
I try to make a point to go to CrossFit gyms and check out other areas, and I like to study on how people feel in the gym. I like to see coaching techniques and just the overall vibe of the space, and it's important to me, and I think things like that should transfer over to how I want my gym to represent. So I want, when people come in the door like yourself, I want you to feel like this place is for you.
You can find more about Progressive Fitness by stopping by the gym or at their website. And that's this week's BioClean Business Bio.
Business Bio, brought to you by BioClean. Call the Bio Team, 1-833-246-8326. The Disaster Specialists.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Thanks. Well, with Canadian Mental Health Week coming up here next week, we're talking a little bit about those different medicines that you can take part in to maybe improve your mental health. So now I'm joined by Sharon Reed, who's a Reiki master. And now what kind of is, I don't know if many people actually know Reiki or have heard of it on the street, but what actually is Reiki?
Reiki is an ancient Japanese energy medicine. It's used for many, many things, relaxation, calming. It will stimulate say if you have a bruise, it'll help to heal it.
And how? Oh, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay.
And how does that Reiki? How does that kind of, I guess, connect with somebody's mental health as well?
Because it's a very calming practice, it would be very beneficial for mental health. If you're having an anxiety attack or something like that, it would calm you, and a lot of people just fall asleep, so that would be a beneficial part of it too.
And so Reiki, it's a little bit different, I guess, maybe than those more traditional medicines that people think of. Is there I guess, any difference maybe in kind of the thought process behind the two different kinds?
Sometimes it is a little difficult to accept Reiki because a lot of people can't feel it. It is working, but they can't feel it.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you. We'll have a little bit more coming back from here, just again talking a little bit about that mental health with Mental Health Week coming up. But first, we're going to go back into the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Take a look at your current temperature right now. Sunny, bit of sunshine right now, sitting at 7 degrees. We still have some clouds up in the air. We did see a nice sunny day compared to yesterday that we had. Winds starting in at 8 kilometers an hour coming in from the west. Our warmest day was 27 degrees back in 2016, while -7 was our coldest on record back in 2005. As we take a look at the satellite radar map, we are experiencing a bit more cloud coverage, and we could see possibly some activity around that Edmonton area over the next couple of days heading into the weekend, as they could see some snow as well. No immediate snow for us here down into the immediate couple of days here, but we'll showcase more details in our next 7-day forecast later on into the show. But take a look at some other current temperatures right now. 6 degrees right now up in Cold Lake, 7 degrees for us here in Lloydminster and Athabasca and Whitecourt and Rocky Mountain House, 9 for Edmonton, 6 degrees in Edson, 8 for Red Deer, and 10 degrees for Jasper. Over in Saskatchewan, 3 degrees up in Saskatoon right now, 8 degrees for Melford, 0 in Prince Albert, 2 for Meadow Lake, and 4 degrees out in North Battleford. Let's take a little more in-depth look to the regional temperatures. -2 overnight for North Battleford, where they could see some flurries, warming up to 6 degrees tomorrow with some sun and cloud, mostly on the cloudy side of things as they reach winds closer to 30 kilometers an hour. Cold Lake, -3 overnight with some flurries, warming up to 5 tomorrow with that wind. Still, that could break the 30 kilometer an hour mark there with the wind chill. So -1 overnight for us here, where we could see some more possible showers and rain and snow mix, getting to 6 degrees tomorrow, where we will see a over 30 kilometer an hour winds. So it could be a little bit colder than 6 degrees. Here's a look at the next 3 days for you. -6 low for Saturday, warming up to 7 for the daytime high. -5 low for Sunday, warming up to 7 degrees on the high, where the wind will die down a lot more than we will see tomorrow. Mostly cloudy though for Sunday, with a very low chance that we'll see some precipitation of any kind. That's a first look at your weather. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Meat as the ultimate plant-based protein source. In this week's Ag Report, Gerard Lampau puts the steak on the grill.
A good sizzling steak is the ultimate summer treat, loaded with all the protein your body needs. Dr. Reynold Bergen helps evaluate science so beef producers can make the best research funding decisions. Consumer tastes are being influenced by concern about the environment and meat production from livestock.
We have one of the lowest greenhouse gas footprints per kilogram of beef of any country in the world. And in fact, in Canada, beef accounts for less than 2.5% of Canada's total greenhouse gas production. And just for comparison, transportation's at 28%.
Canadian beef contributes less than 0.05% to global greenhouse gas. Improved production over the last 30 years has brought emissions down by 15% for Canadian beef, but consumers are looking for plant-based options to get their protein. Beef is turning up the heat, saying that it's the ultimate plant-based protein.
And what cattle can do is eat that grass, digest it, and turn it into nutrient-dense, really high-quality protein source that humans can use and digest for the benefit of their health. And at the same time, the beef industry and beef cattle and the rangelands they exist on provide significant environmental benefits on a really endangered ecosystem.
The cattle industry uses land that has no other agriculture value and in the process provides grazing practices that actually build the land and limit grass fires. There are about 9 amino acids which humans need that our body does not manufacture. Meat is a one-stop shop to get these amino acids.
It contains all 9 of those essential amino acids, and it contains them in the right proportions that we need in our diet. So you can get all of those essential amino acids from a plant-based diet. It's possible, but you need to mix and match things to do that. And what we're saying is that if you're eating meat, you don't have to.
You will be eating a lot more plants to get the same amount of nutrients that you will get from one serving of beef. Some people suffer from a lack of iron. Beef is high in iron, zinc, and vitamin B12. These are all essential for body functions, especially dealing with anemia. The beef industry accounts for 1/3 of Canada's agricultural land, but that ecosystem provides a habitat for 2/3 of Canada's wildlife. Supporting beef is actually protecting the Canadian prairies.
Your grandma was probably right. Don't overindulge, but don't deny yourself. Beef's a healthy part of a balanced diet.
Gerard Lampau, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Center. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Center with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
That's all for Ag. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Earlier today, several members of the Bantam AAA Bobcats were selected in the WHL Bantam Draft. Forward Reed McKay was the highest selection, taken 65th overall by the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Captain Jager Furkis followed at 82 for Moose Jaw, and goaltender Jari Kaikenen went to the Kelowna Rockets at 115. Riley Applegate was the last Lloydminster pick at 135 to the Regina Pats. The Lloydminster Extreme began their Junior B lacrosse title defense this weekend. Josh Ryan has more on how the squad believes they can reach similar heights this season.
2018 was a lacrosse campaign to remember for the Extreme. Now they hope to make that success a trend.
Yeah, it's it's that time of year, and we're happy to get going again here and defend the title.
Several key players have left, including goaltender Kyle Boyer, but the offense is essentially intact.
I think our core is very similar to what it's been. We have all of our leading scorers except for Capel are back. So offensively, I think we're going to be very good.
Having plenty of vets has helped with early season swagger.
With the guys who stayed around, they bring that leadership, you could say, and it just gives us confidence to the new guys coming in. We definitely feel like we can do this again. We can go back to back.
Leadership will work differently because of departures, but Murray believes it works with team unity.
I think the guys in the room, they want it just as bad as anybody else. So I think that they'll step up. It'll be more of a leading through a group instead of just, a couple of guys speaking up and saying what needs to be said.
The foundation of their success will rely on goal scoring again, though the Extreme do give up some size on the back end.
Same principles, but we are going to be a bit smaller team, so I think we're probably might be faster than last year.
That keeps pressure on both goaltenders to come up big every night.
Petrie and Meager are going to stand on their head for us, just like the other goalies did, and yeah, it should be a good season.
Game 1 is a rematch with Cold Lake, which should set the stage for this team and where they can go.
First couple of practices, everyone's all rusty, but now that we're in the rhythm of things again, we feel like coming out the first game, we can compete with Cold Lake.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Well, once again, I'm joined here by Sharon Reed, who's a Reiki master, and we're talking a little bit about mental health and how you can, some tips you can take to improve it with Mental Health Week coming up. And we were talking a little bit about how you can help yourself out with that mental health, and you were mentioning that meditation was a good way. So how can somebody do that for themselves?
You can get meditations on YouTube. You can make your own. You get a friend to help you. There's many ways, and there's many different meditations out there. It's very good because it gets you to just relax, and that is going to calm you down, slow you down, and give you the relief from anxiety and anxiousness, of course.
And you also mentioned that breathing, something that we do even every day, is also a big thing to help maybe calm you down and get you back in that good mental state. So how does that kind of work?
That kind of works really good because a lot of people don't breathe right. We breathe quickly, and that adds to your anxiety. Whereas if you take the time and breathe very slowly, and a good way to do it is take the count of 4, breath in, hold it for the count of 4, breathe out for the count of 4, and if you do that series 4 times, you're way calmer.
And is that something that people maybe should just be doing in stressful situations, or something that people can kind of incorporate into their daily routine?
Absolutely. And it's a great way to start your morning, is just sit there for a few minutes and breathe slowly. It clears your mind, it slows down your body, and gives you that calm start in the morning.
And that breathing meditation, would you recommend that then always in the morning, or could you possibly do it at night, or just any time that
you
fits
can
your
do
schedule?
it anytime. Morning and night, both would be optimal. And then if you during the day you get tired or you get anxious, breathe.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for that. We're going to have a little bit more coming back from here again about that mental health with Mental Health Week coming up. But first, we're going to go back into the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Taking a look at some other current temperatures right now. 7 degrees right now for us here in Lloydminster still. 8 degrees out in Marway, Vermilion, Wainwright, and down in Provost and Macklin. 9's out in Vegreville and Edmonton. St. Paul sitting at 7 degrees. Cold Lake and Lac La Biche sitting at 6 degrees. 9 degrees also out in Bonnyville. 4 degrees in Meadow Lake and Isle of Cross. 5 for Green Lake. 8 degrees out in Maidstone. 4 degrees also out in North Battleford. Other temperatures in Saskatchewan. 3 degrees in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows. 0 degrees in La Ronge. Double digits out in Flin Flon, sitting at 11 degrees. -2 out in South End. 0 for Wollaston Lake. And 3 degrees for Stony Rapids. 4 degrees in Fort Chipeway. 7 degrees in Fort McMurray. 6 is in both Peace River and Slave Lake. 9 degrees for Grand Prairie. 2 degrees out in High Level. Out in southern Alberta, 10 degrees out in Medicine Hat, Lethbridge, and Calgary. Coronation sitting at 8 degrees themselves. 5 degrees currently right now for Banff. Down in southern Saskatchewan, 9 degrees for Kindersley, 8 degrees for Swift Current, 12 in Moose Jaw, Regina, and Yorkton, 13 degrees out in Estimez. Take a look at some temperatures for tomorrow. 6 degrees for the main immediate region here. So 6 in Lloydminster here, 6 in Maidstone, Wainwright, and Vegreville, 6 for Bonnyville, 5 for Lac La Biche, Cold Lake, 5 for Pierceland, and St. Paul, Marwayne. Now, again, as I did mention earlier, we are going to be seeing winds that could reach over that 30-kilometer-an-hour range. So it might feel a little bit colder than 6 degrees. So 6 degrees also out in Isle of Cross, Green Lake is North Battleford, 7 degrees in Provost and Macklin, 5 degrees out in Edmonton for tomorrow. As we take a look at the snow accumulation, yes, this is still a possibility. We could see some flurries overnight, but as we head into Saturday morning and then, of course, into Saturday night, all that majority of the bigger snows is going to be more further out in western Alberta there, up in northern BC, and then, of course, behind me out in some parts in Saskatchewan. But as you can see from where Lloydminster is in the map, there is no real snow expected over the next 48 or so hours. So let's take a look at the school day forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be mostly cloudy throughout the day. It starts off at 1 degree, 3 degrees at recess time, and 4 degrees at lunchtime, all with cloudy skies, warming up to the 6 degrees for home time tomorrow. So here's the next 7 days for you. 33 kilometer-an-hour winds, maybe more. Low of -6 on Saturday, warming up to 7 on both Saturday and Sunday. -3 low there for Monday, where we should get some more sun back in there at 8 degrees. Back to double digits on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, -1 the low there for Tuesday, sitting at 12 degrees. 2 degrees the low there for Wednesday with a high of 15 with a 57% chance of rain, and 12 degrees the high for Thursday. That's your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Once again, I'm joined by Sharon Reed, who is in charge of the Healing Connections Expo happening this weekend. And this isn't the first time you've done it, obviously. So can you maybe just talk a little bit about how you guys actually got it started and the reason for it?
The reason I started it was to get the awareness out to people about the different options they have for their health and happiness.
And obviously we're connecting a little bit with the Canadian Mental Health Week coming up here next week, and you do have quite a few different presentations and speakers about mental health coming up this weekend. So can you maybe just give us a little preview of what you guys have coming up?
Well, we're really happy that we're going to be joined by Malcolm Radke from the Lloyd Regional Health. He's going to be talking about Project Sunrise, which is something that's very much needed in our community. So we're pretty excited about that. We also have a couple of girls coming from the mental health department that will be handing out brochures and pamphlets and just sharing information again with the people that come to the expo.
And that expo is running all weekend. So what times can people expect to arrive? And then I guess maybe how do they actually get in?
Oh, they come to the day suites and inns or whatever it's called. And they come in through the back door, or they can come in through the front door. Both doors will be wide open. There's a $10 a day charge to get in, and hopefully if we get a good enough crowd, we're going to share some of those proceeds with Project Sunrise and with residents in recovery.
And what times do you guys start? And it is both Saturday and Sunday, correct?
Both Saturday and Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the evening.
All right, perfect. Thank you once again for joining us so much. And we were talking again with Sharon Reed about the Healing Expo that's coming up, and again, just for that Canadian Mental Health Week and a few tips. So that's all we have for now. And now we're going to send it back into the studio.
All right, so with our question of the day today, what viral trend do you not understand? You already got your say. You can't really say much right now, but from the beginning of the show. So some of the comments: eating the Tide Pod challenge. Yep. That was one of them. Coney, that was another one. You didn't know what that was because you're young to remember that.
I wasn't too young to remember it. I just didn't see it. It doesn't mean I was too young.
A lot of them were, Kanye West was another one.
I love Kanye West, so that's fine.
I could see why that person commented. Someone did comment Fortnite because
yes,
some people don't get it.
I don't get it. I will never get it.
It's okay. Not a lot of people do. The dog filter as well on Snapchat. All the filters on Snapchat.
I honestly believe that is the one Snapchat filter that has never been taken off Snapchat.
Yeah.
All the other ones that, I don't like that one. all the ones that I do like get taken off in like a couple days.
And then of course there's the Dr. Phil. Some famous Dr. Phil guests as well have made viral. You won't let me say it.
No, you aren't allowed to say it. But
Okay, well,
I think a lot of people who
we
are
know
watching
who that is.
know
Yeah. I think that's
who you're talking about and why
Couple
a
words.
lot of people
Yeah.
don't understand
Okay.
that. So
Alrighty,
yeah.
well, we're going to move to pets because we understand pets
Yes.
because we find them very adorable. So here's Odin to start things off. He's all muddy.
Oh, Shaggy, I love it.
Very cute. This is Lily.
Oh, with
just
a
in
little
the-
bandana
it's
on.
very cute.
Love it.
Next we have Smudge. Nice little
Oh,
profile.
So elegant.
Just a nice little profile shot. Now this is a trio,
Oh.
Shivers, Toro, and Titan. Just
Love
a cute,
them.
cute trio.
Yeah.
And last but not least, this is Raz,
Oh, I
a
love
Lassie dog.
I love it.
Nice looking Lassie dog there.
Beautiful.
Well, if your pet was shown on today, you're automatically entered to win a Lloydminster Pet Pad gift card, which we're giving away tomorrow on Primetime Local News.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
We have Lonnie and Taryn joining us today from Fur Babies Forever Homes. Thank you guys for joining us, and we have a special guy here today. And Lonnie, can I get you to explain why he's taped up in case anybody sees it and wondering what's going on with him?
This is Walker. So Walker got hit by a car, and he has had a dislocated jaw. The owners brought him to the vet, found out he needed surgery, and unfortunately they couldn't afford the surgery. So they surrendered him to the vet's office, and they found a rescue, which was us.
And how's he doing?
He's doing amazing. So he had a surgery about 2 weeks ago, and he just had a checkup yesterday with the vet. Everything is healing properly. It's all aligned properly. Unfortunately, he doesn't like this on, and so he's been trying to get it off. So he has to eat like a porridge type food we have to create for him, because he can't have anything hard until that's totally healed. So.
Okay.
But he's doing very well.
Do you know roughly how old he is?
We figured he was probably about 11 months to a year in there, so he's very young. There's no way we wanted him to be euthanized or anything put down. So he's an awesome pup. He's going to make an awesome fur baby friend for somebody. So
how long do you think, Lonnie, before that he will be available for adoption?
It totally depends on how fast it's going to heal, but the vets had indicated initially it'd be 4 to 6 weeks probably. So he's got a good month left, but he's doing really well. So
Taryn, can you tell me a little about the process that happens when dogs like this come to you, and how you guys decide whether or not you can take them, or if people have situations, how they can give them to you?
It totally depends on what we have available for fosters. Like obviously he needs a lot more attention than most, so he's not in our main building. He's at a private foster just for a little extra love.
So if somebody wants to foster, you guys do need a lot of fosters then?
Yeah, we always need fosters.
Yeah, we're currently looking for more fosters. We have probably about 60, but they can only foster at different times of the year and you know, that type of thing. So we're always looking for fosters. We have so many people trying to surrender their pets to us, and we just can't take them because we don't have the availability. And they're also, both those people are actually on a list at the SPCA as well. And they can't take any in either too because they're so full. So yeah.
So if somebody wants to apply to foster, what's the best way that they do that?
They'd get a hold of us on our website.
Okay.
There's a foster application on there. And so it's www.furbabiesforeverhomes.com. And they just fill in the foster application. We just actually got a couple more on yesterday, so that was awesome. So yeah.
So that's kind of the biggest thing that you guys need now, or do you also need supplies to help with the people that you have, or the animals that you have in your building?
We did get a good donation from, was it Purina?
Okay.
Yeah, pet food. So we always need those kind of donations as well. More
So stuff like
financial
food.
probably too, because now we got our building and everything's going really well, but there's rent, there's bills and all that stuff to that we need to do now. It's not just vet bills, which is what we were prior to. That's all we had to focus on. But
So if anybody wants to help either foster or financially or give donations, whatever they can do, just go through your website or through the social media Facebook page?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, and we hope that, I'm sure Walker is going to find himself a good home once he's all healed, so we'll get you guys to update us on his progress as well, because I'm sure he's going to make a great, I mean, look at him, he's just sitting there and not super happy about having that on, but yeah, thank you guys for coming today, and once again, we invite people to check out the Fur Babies Forever Homes social media and Facebook page, and just help any way that you can. Thank you guys very much.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Stacey.
There is no denying the star power of Marilyn Monroe, and there's no denying that the Washboard Union are rising stars in Canadian country music, and you've got a chance to see them this weekend when they come to the Gold Horse Casino. Saturday night, it's going to be a huge party with the Washboard Union. They're Juno Award winners, they're CCMA Award winners. You might have heard them on Real Country with their hits Shot of Glory and She Gets Me. Get your tickets for the party this Saturday night at SegaBoxOffice.ca. Call all your friends, let them know that the Dirt Rich Band is a brand new album coming out, and they want you to join them at their album release party. The big party is coming up at the end of the month out at the Lloyd X grounds, but get your tickets now so that you're in for this huge party as they celebrate the release of their second album. There's a couple of different ways you can get tickets. You can go online, or you can stop by Sheepskin Loft. This week, we want you to add a new CD to your jukebox, or we want you to be spinning a copy of the soundtrack to the huge hit movie Bohemian Rhapsody. Your favorite Queen songs are on this album, and what a great way to relive that great movie as well. If you want a copy, it's really easy. All you have to do is email your name and daytime phone number to tv-contests@stingray.com. We want to say thanks to John at Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. Elvis will be there, Marilyn will be there. You can still be here at the Legacy Center for their 10th annual dinner theater production, Nonsense. This is being presented by the Lloyd Comp High School Drama Club. To swing by the Legacy Center to get your tickets. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klegus, and that's what's happening.
All right, we're very pleased to be joined with Dr. Neki Jamal from Wayside Dental. Now, of course, Doctor, last month was Oral Health Month. Now, we're just starting May, so for those that don't know, Oral Health Month, it focuses a lot on oral cancer because that's something that is becoming a bigger issue for me. So I guess start off from your perspective as a dentist, how important is it something that we shouldn't ignore that fact?
Oh, goodness, yeah, we always check for oral cancer whenever you come in for your checkups. So it's really important that you get checkups regularly. We recommend at least once a year so we can check all the soft tissues in your mouth and make sure there's nothing suspicious.
Now, for when most people are thinking about oral health care, they think, maybe just sore gums or gingivitis and that kind of stuff. There's a lot more to that. I guess what are some of the signs that people might, that can associate with oral cancer?
Yeah, it's really important that there's a lot of self-assessment that goes on throughout the year. Like if something doesn't feel right, if you notice an ulcer in your mouth or a sore that doesn't go away, if you notice a swelling that doesn't go away, any hard areas underneath your jawline, always come in and get it checked out at your dentist or even your family physician. We just want to do anything we can to help avoid any suspicious things that could occur and catch them early.
Now, one thing that I read was that even though it's the mouth is a different part, it might be separate from the body, but actually it's still kind of very functional and a major part of that when it comes to just the overall health in general.
Oh, absolutely. There's a huge oral health systemic connection. The same bacteria that in our mouth, when our gums bleed, that bacteria gets inside our bloodstream and it travels throughout our body and it settles in our heart, and that's a huge risk for heart disease and stroke. And so it's really important that we keep our mouth in great shape, not only for our mouth, but especially for our whole body, exactly what you said.
Now, another thing that I've learned as well is that early diagnosis is a big thing.
Huge.
Now, is that something that you as a dentist, if you do see those signs, it's good to let your patients know, like, okay, you need to maybe maybe get a more in-depth look or closer taken care of kind of thing?
Absolutely. In those suspicious situations, we do recommend to do a biopsy of the area, whether that's in our office or at a specialist's office. We just want to get everyone screened and get the appropriate treatment as necessary. We just don't want oral cancer to proceed to a later stage. If there is an issue, we'd like to stop it right away.
Absolutely. And I guess just what are some of the steps that people can take towards combating it to an extent?
Sure. We need to, for all the smokers out there, we need to reduce the amount that we're smoking, and also like chewing tobacco. If we keep our overall health up, the risk of oral cancer does decrease, but it's really important to get your checkups once a year. We've found several cases in our office where we were able to treat it early and nothing really happened from it. I would just hate to see a later stage that could have been avoided by just coming and getting a routine checkup. So I do recommend everyone get their gums, their cheeks, and their whole mouth checked out.
And just to touch back, you do offer those kinds of procedures at your office?
Absolutely. Every single patient that comes in for a checkup and cleaning gets a full oral cancer screening, and we are so proud to offer that for all of our patients.
Well, Dr. Jamal, thank you very much for all that information. Of course, it's something we don't really think about too much, but it's something that is very possible for anybody, really.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.